In this video, we're going to show you how to use Scalr as a remote operations backend with the native Terraform or OpenTofu CLI. At Scalr, we see the native CLI as an important option to integrate with existing workflows, give your developers a way to test before committing to repos, and just using all of the native commands that you're accustomed to. So what you're going to see is that I have a pretty basic setup here where I am adding Scalr as the remote backend. So we've added our account name here, scalrdemo.scalr.io. And then we've added a Scalr environment. So an environment in Scalr is just a collection of workspaces where you can provide isolations between apps or teams or whatever you've decided an environment should be. And then we've given the workspace the name Scalr CLI demo. You have the option of pre-creating workspaces in Scalr first. And once you pre-create it, you'll then can click on the remote backend configuration and we'll create this code for you. But in this case, I just went ahead and created it myself, because when we run Terraform init, it's actually going to create the workspace based on this backend configuration existing. So to start, we're actually going to use OpenTofu in this case, and we're just going to run a tofu init here, which will call out to Scalr, verify the backend configuration is correct, and create that workspace for us. So if I flip over into Scalr now, we'll go into our workspace list, and we now see that we have the Scalr CLI demo has been created, but it's waiting for us to actually add configuration and kick off or running it. We'll go back to our console here. And what we're doing today is actually using the Scalr provider to create other environments in Scalr, other workspaces. So it's typically we have an onboarding experience where customers create a vending machine to create all the other environments and workspaces in Scalr. So we have that there and a couple other variable files and providers. But all we simply have to do now that we have that backend added is run a tofu apply. And what we're going to see is the standard output that you typically expect from Terraform or OpenTofu, and that is executing in my console. But if I flip over here, we'll also see that it's actually executing directly in Scalr. And in Scalr, you have the ability to see the standard output or the visual plan, which basically shows you the diffs between the state before and now the proposed state. We're going to go through the cost estimation, which we used InfraCost for. In this case, there wasn't anything because we're just creating Scalr resources. And then it's going to hit the OPA section where you're going to have potentially OPA checked. If I flip back over into my console here, you see we have that same output that is streamed back into our console. And it's going to ask me if I want to do the standard tofu approval, which we will set yes. And now it's going to go through and actually run the apply and create the resources for us, which again, we'll see directly in the UI as well. We now see that the resources have been created, and it's really as simple as that. Just adding Scalr as that remote backend, you have full command line options with either Terraform or Tofu. And now if we come up into the workspace dashboard and go to our state file, we now see that that state file has been created and is now being managed in Scalr or a GCP bucket of your choice, or soon to be an S3 bucket of your choice. Now, developers are probably accustomed to using the Terraform or Tofu CLI to potentially manipulate state, do other things like, for example, a Tofu state pull, which you can fully do with Scalr as the remote backend as well. So I can pull that state down, manipulate it, push it back up into Scalr if I want, giving you the full capabilities that you're accustomed to with the Terraform or Tofu CLI.